Hello everyone, my name is YIZHEN. My matrix number is BB23170001. Today I would like to discuss a question that often triggers strong emotional and ethical reactions. Is it morally acceptable to buy and sell pollution rights? At first glance, the very idea sounds disturbing. How can it ever be moral to trade the rights to harm our planet? Shouldn't pollution be strictly prohibited, not priced and sold like a commodity? Since it is something that damages the environment, harms human health, and strengthens future generations, this moral discomfort is understandable. Yet, if we take a deeper and more realistic look, the issue becomes more complex. Let's begin with the simple truth. Pollution is unavoidable. Human existence inevitably produces pollution, such as industrial production, agricultural, transportation, even energy used at home. The question is not how to eliminate pollution completely, but rather how to manage it efficiently and fairly. From this perspective, the trade of pollution rights can be seen not as moral corruption. In the United States, the government introduced a cap and trade system for sulfur dioxide in the 1990s to trickle acid rain. Under this system, companies received limited pollution permits and they could trade them with others. Firms that could reduce emissions cheaply did so, and sold their extra permits to others who found it more costly to reduce emissions. Then, how was the result? One of the results is acid rain dropped sharply, and the total cost of reducing pollution was much lower than traditional regulation. And the last but most importantly, the air became cleaner faster than expected. So, while it may sound morally troubling that firms were buying and selling pollution rights, in practice, this market-based mechanism saved both money and the environment. Similarly, in the European Union's emission trading system, a similar market for carbon dioxide launched in 2005, which has led to significant reductions, about 42% in emissions across Europe, while still allowing economic growth and encourage innovation and clean technology. Now, some critics argue that trading pollution rights allows rich corporations to buy their way out of moral responsibility. That's a valid concern, but it's also a misunderstanding. The goal of such system is not to give permission to pollute endlessly, but to set a firm cap, a maximum allowable level of pollution. Within that cap, trading helps achieve reductions more efficiently. In this sense, pollution rights trading does not encourage pollution. It puts a price on it, making pollution costly and cleaner innovation profitable. In moral terms, this can actually align economic incentives with ethical responsibility. When pollution has a real market price, it forces both individuals and corporations to internalize the environmental cost of their actions. Moral debates often focus on symbolism, the idea that selling pollution rights feels wrong. But morality is not only about intention, it's also about consequences. If an action leads to better outcomes for society and the planet with cleaner air, healthier communities, and sustainable economic development, can we truly call it immoral? In that sense, the moral value of emission trading lies not in the act of buying and selling itself, but in the result it produces. So, is it morally acceptable to buy and sell pollution rights? If we define morality purely in ideal terms, perhaps not. No one should have the right to harm the environment. But in the real world, where pollution cannot be eliminated, emission trading represents a morally justified compromise, one that transforms environmental harm into a manageable, accountable, and improvable process. Rather than condemning it on moral grounds, we should evaluate it based on its actual impact. Does it reduce pollution? Does it encourage cleaner technologies? Does it move us closer to sustainable development? If the answer to these questions is yes, then perhaps the moral path is not to reject pollution right training, but to improve and strengthen it. Thank you, that's all from me.